say, why'd you pick that one? It's tough.
And she talks about changing the word of pussy.
We're going to do a quiz which is called
80s or 90s. Should be pretty easy for you, Rich. Pretty difficult for our very young contestants here. Both Lola and Dave, I think, have got maybe a few years younger than us. We've got a bit of a head start on them. But hey, Rich, you're first. 80s or
Great.
90s? John Lennon assassinated. This is quite easy for you. 80s or 90s?
80s.
Do you think you know the year?
December 1980. December the 5th, wasn't it? 1980, I think.
Well, seeing as you've just done a documentary on John Lennon, that's pretty precise, isn't it?
Might have helped me a little bit, maybe.
Exxon Valdez oil spill, 80s or 90s?
I can remember seeing the photos of that on Newsround. I think that's early 90s.
On Newsround!
Yeah?
Hilarious. That's wrong, I'm afraid. It was late 80s. How about this one? Collapse of the Soviet Union, 80s or 90s?
Oh, 80s.
Mate, you're terrible at this now.
Was that 90s?
Yeah, 1991. First internet domain name registered. What do you think?
Oh, this could
90s?
be a trick question.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to go with 80s because it feels like it should be 90s, but I think it's a trick. 80s.
Nice. Yeah, well done. Princess Diana died in a car crash. Which year?
This is a
Which
great
decade?
Friday night, isn't it?
Sorry.
I'm going to say, why'd you pick that one? It was 90s. It was 1997.
Yeah. 3 out of 5, Rich. Excellent. Dave, I'll come to you next. 80s or 90s? First Harry Potter book released. 80s or 90s? What do you think?
Got to be 90s, surely.
Yeah, 1997.
Can I just say, Dave's getting much more cheerful questions than me. He's not getting deaths and oil spills.
Not yet.
It'll come, don't worry. Pac-Man arcade game released. 80s or 90s?
80s.
Yeah, 1980. Now, you might know this, seeing as you're in the area of Germany. When was it reunited? Was it 80s or 90s?
Reunited. It's got to be 90s.
Yep, 1990. How about this one? E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial. When was it released? 80s or 90s?
It's tough. It's the working film, so I should know. It's 90s.
What? 1982. It's a real classic. 80s classic as well.
Yeah.
How about this one? Euro first introduced into the financial markets. Was it 80s or 90s?
90s.
Yeah. This is pretty good. 4 out of 5. Looks like you're in the lead at the moment. Lola, what can you do? Hubble Telescope. I don't know, but I reckon you're the youngest one amongst us. Hubble Telescope launched into space. Was it 80s or 90s?
90s?
Yeah, nice. IBM introduced their first PC. Was that 80s or 90s?
IBM?
IBM, you know, the computer company? No?
Yeah, I know. 80s?
Wow, she's so young, Rich. She doesn't even know what IBM is. It's amazing, isn't it? Michael Jackson Thriller, 80s or 90s?
Oh, I thought that was 80s, late 80s.
Nice. It was early 80s, 1982. How about this one? The PG-13 movie rating was created. 80s or 90s?
So hard. I'm gonna say 80s. I'm gonna say 80s.
80s, 1984. This one for the lead, Lola Aviva, the 80s, 90s champion so far. Nelson Mandela released from prison. Is that 80s or 90s?
Free Nelson Mandela.
Lovely.
I don't know. 90s.
Yeah! It is a full house. Lola, leave a round of applause. How
Very impressive.
the youngest amongst us. Doesn't even remember the 80s.
I feel the bitterness in your applause. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Just for the record, when were you born, Lola?
1998.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
And she won the competition. Lola, you don't know this, but the prize for winning the competition is to find something hugely embarrassing from your home. So whatever it might be, something that's embarrassing from your home, you've got a little bit of time because Dave's going to take the next record and he's going to perform. Are you up for that? Are you okay with that?
I've got it right here. Right.
You've got it? Okay, well, let's see it.
Oh, okay. I got sent this today by my best friend, and this is called Pussy Reclamation. I hope this is by an American author, and she talks about changing the word of pussy. You know, it's no longer a bad word, it's a good word. So that's what I'll be reading the next couple of weeks.
Pussy Reclamation. This is possibly the best, most embarrassing thing we've ever had.